everybody over on Facebook. And now I'm getting Instagram on. What's up, y'all? Okay, so Instagram, I need to probably get my little ring light and work on the lighting. Give me 1 second. Because y'all can't see. Let me see. Yes, this is ghetto. I am relaxed on a Sunday in my house slippers, sitting in the living room and trying to figure out how to make sure we got the best little view. Let's see. All right. Hey, y'all. It's Mom Chat time. Let's see if I can help y'all out with a little bit better lighting. And then let's talk about how to start a business 101. Let me qualify it by saying I am Kaywanda Lamb, the winning single mom, author, speaker, coach, entrepreneur. Business management is my first love. It's my first degree. People don't know that, but that's why I love business and entrepreneurship so much. You hear me talk a lot about being a winning single mom and writing books, but you probably didn't know I had that foundation. So it's always a part of me. So when you look at, let me figure out how to turn it on. Light. And behold, there was light. That might be too much, but hey, hopefully I look a little bit better to y'all. Now, one of the things that I love is talking about us getting our money up, because I was that mom who was just like, okay, Lord, now you done worked a lot of miracles, but this time, I don't know, can you do it? And of course he can. But we want to get to where we're not always looking for a miracle. We want to get to where we're balancing our budget, where we know where our money is going, what's coming in. And if you're in the mood for starting a business or a side hustle, I want to start talking to you about how to best do that. Okay, so I want to pull this forward because my Instagram people are seeing a lot, right? And then Facebook, I don't know if y'all are seeing enough. So let's try to figure that out. All right, so first thing, let me know who you are, where you're coming from. Hey, boo. Hey. You got you're in expectation. Hey, China, I'm excited. So I made some notes. Y'all know I love my little notebooks and stuff. And so once again, Kaywanda Lamb, you can find me over at kaywandalamb.com. Been doing this about 6 years. And what I'm about to tell you about starting a business, it's not what I did in the beginning, even though I have a whole degree in managing business, right? And had entrepreneurship classes and marketing and advertising and purchasing, and I knew all this stuff. When I started my first business, it was all about passion and purpose, and that's good. But passion and purpose doesn't always make you money, okay? So I want to try to stick to what I created for y'all, so that it can be a step-by-step. Hopefully you got your pen and your paper ready. I always have some myself, right? Or even in your cell phone, taking notes, however you're gonna do it. But I want you to make sure you're taking some notes as we go. So I'm gonna tell you what I did and then what I recommend now, knowing what I know, right? Putting everything I learned into practice. So again, if you don't know me, I'm the winning single mom. I look a little bit different in my little headshots today. We're natural. And we are getting our hair done this week and these nails. So don't look too closely because I'm embarrassed, but it's coming. I like to look pretty, you know. I'm a girl. But one of the things that I did in the beginning was I knew that it was time for me to write a book. I knew that it was time for me to start blogging. I didn't know exactly how to do it. So you know what I did? I started doing research. And that's one thing I did that was good, okay? The one thing I did that was right that I'm going to recommend over and over and over today during our chat is to research, right? But I hit the ground running. I was consumed with learning what to do, how to get the message out there. What is my message? Where are my people? How can I help more single moms know how to level up and not struggle, right? And so how to get over the hurt. I talked a lot about that in the beginning, and I still do because it's so important. That's the first thing that we really need to fix when we become single moms, right? And it's probably sometimes the last thing that folks get around to because we're trying to make sure we can take care of everything financially, which leads us to starting a side hustle or a business. And so I knew that I wanted to help people, but I was like, it would also be cool if I could make more money too, right? So how do I help moms and make more money? So first I created t-shirts because the book took a while to write. Okay, so I had this amazing hashtag that I always use called Do It Anyway, and I still use it because I just love it, and it just encapsulates everything about me. You know, you're not going to keep me down too long. I'm going to figure out a way to get it done and do it anyway. And so I used to say, life sucks, do it anyway. Single parenting is hard, do it anyway. And I still mean that, right? And I still have to dig my heels in like everybody else and push through some things. Now, I did all of that to tell you that I did not sit down and write a business plan. And that's what I want you to do today, right? That's what I want you. Part of the steps to forming a business, right? If that's what you feel, you kind of search yourself and realize, okay, I do want to do this, and this is what I want to do it in. You're going to need a roadmap. So I knew this. Like I said, I was a business management major. I knew that I needed a roadmap. So I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I was consuming lots of material, trying to implement what I was consuming, right? And sometimes the best way to know if an idea works is to test it. So I wanted to get it out into the market. And you know what? People supported it. My friends, family, folks I didn't know, my social media peeps, they were all like, yes, we love this. How can we get one? And then I was like, running a t-shirt business is hard because I don't want to make them. Okay, so I got to pay somebody else for the t-shirt. I got to pay somebody else to put what I want on the shirt on there. And then I got to figure out how to price it so that people will still buy it and I can make somewhat of a profit. Okay, you're not going to be a millionaire like that. Okay, now people who are, typically they have huge followings, you know, they've already built the brand or they're doing it themselves, right? And sometimes you can outsource it. We can talk about that down the road. But I was like, so this is part of what I stand for, but isn't all about who I want, you know, people to know me as, right? The t-shirt lady, right? The do it anyway girl with the cool wristbands, which I should have one on right now because a lot of people keep telling me that they still have it from all those years ago and that it still means so much to them. So I love that. But I knew that I wanted to write a book, right? And I knew that I needed to write a book because people kept asking me, how do you go to school with kids? How do you work full time? How are you able to travel around the world? How do you get this done? You know, and I was like, how do you not? You know, how are you so happy? How are you not angry? How are you? People just kept asking me over and over and over. I'm talking about strangers, people who would have their kids with them and they're cutting up, acting a fool. And my kids would be the same age. And I got 2 boys and they are like, listen, yes, ma'am. My secret was a wooden spoon, but don't tell nobody. I'm joking. However, I did have a wooden spoon and my boys know not to play with me even now. Now, that's because we had to learn as single moms how to be mom and dad in the beginning. And then we realized later on we should just be mom, right? But we have to, you know, be the disciplinarian and we have to be the person that pays the bills and we got to be the person that helps with homework and we got to be the person that cooks. We got to be everything. How do you get all that done and still find time for you? So I knew I had to write the book because some folks needed to know how to get there. Okay, so great. I wrote the book. And as I was writing the book, I knew that I could write a book and nobody would buy it if I didn't promote it. Are y'all listening? Is this making sense to anybody? So what do I want you to get out of my story that I just told you? It is pointless to create a business or a side hustle if you are not willing to tell people about it, if you're not willing to tell people who need it that it exists. So that is where your business plan comes in. It's going to help you have a roadmap of what's the business going to be? How are you going to design it? Is it going to be offline? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be both? Right? How are you going to market it? Where's the money going to come from? Will you need employees? I mean, the business plan is going to give you so much. And had I paused from, and I know God was talking to me. You know, I'm a Christian. Y'all know I love the Lord. My faith is super huge for me. I wrote a devotional the second time around, right? My second book. And I knew that it was just in my spirit. It was so heavy. It's all I thought about was how do I put goodness into these books so that people, when they read them, it changes their lives. And that's good and that's admirable. But I was like, I also want my life to change. So if I don't set this up right, somebody else will get their breakthrough and I will be like, well, I wrote some books and every now and again some money comes in, right? So no, you make the business plan so you can know how you're going to get paid. Because let me tell you, Kaywanda did it the opposite and then you had to go and figure out all the rest. Okay, so I'm saving you hopefully lots of time, frustration, and money. Okay, so now is where you start writing. And I hope that this is making sense to you. And I'm tickling myself because it wasn't funny when I was like, I just paid this chick like $700 and she ain't do nothing. Okay, and I'm still mad, and I still want to tell everybody I know not to work with her, but I'm not going to do it, right? Because sometimes people have, bad moments, and sometimes life just happens, and I believe that God will fix it by the by. So I don't want you to fall into the trap of buying this and buying that and paying for this and paying for that, and you never get to implement it, or it doesn't really help you move the needle. Okay, so in order to know where you're going and where your money is going, how you're going to fund your business, what kind of time it's going to require of you, how you're going to get it done with your full-time job and kids, you need a plan. Okay, so Business 101, first thing you want to do is I need you to get your mind right. So this is assuming you already know what the business idea is. Mindset is so huge. I actually have a book over here by Carol Dweck. It's called Mindset, right? It was recommended to me by one of my mentors, and it's crazy how we can sabotage our own dreams and our own goals. I can't see y'all. I'm sorry. I know y'all posting down there. Hey, what's up? We can sabotage our own dreams, right? By sitting like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, sitting on an idea, sitting on something that we know we should be doing, but we're like, well, such and such is further along, and why would they listen to me when such and such has so much, this or that? And it's all mindset. So what you've got to be able to do is tell yourself, hey girl, we're in this to win it. We are just as amazing as the next person, and somebody needs what I have, right? Now you got to validate that, right? And that's where your plan comes in. But I do want you to get this right first. So step one is mindset. I'm doing this for a reason. I'm providing a good or service into the world, right? I'm solving a problem. I'm meeting a need. And so keep that at the forefront, because tough times are going to come. Something's going to happen. It's going to be a slow month this month, quick month that month, and you'll start learning about your business cycles, right? And you'll start learning what your customer needs. All right, so number one is mindset, and this will take focus, right? And if you do it, it will change your life. If you check in with yourself and say, okay, what am I thinking? What are my limiting beliefs this week? Give yourself affirmations. I start out with that because that's the stuff we bring in on the back end when we should keep it at the forefront. All right, next thing I want you to do. Okay, what kind of business do you want? Okay, now let me qualify this. I am not giving you legal advice. This is one mama to another, okay, out here into the world trying to help somebody. So I definitely encourage you to consult an attorney, a CPA, all right, folks in your area. All right, so let's just make sure I'm qualifying this. But you do need to know if you're going to start out as a sole proprietor. So let me say it again, sole proprietor, right? Or if you're going to do an LLC. Now, if you have big dreams of doing a corporation and you want to go ahead and form like that, you're going to have members and shareholders, go for it. So you got to think about, what do I want? What's expedient? Okay, what do I really want my foundation to be? Because Uncle Sam, when you start earning coins, he wants to know. All right, he's going to want his little piece. And so what's the sole proprietor? Well, that's when you're one person in the business, right? And you have to decide about the legal ramifications. So sole proprietor, if somebody decides they want to sue you, I need some water. If somebody decides that they want to sue you, then they can attack your personal resources because you don't have a separate business. But if you do an LLC and somebody says, hey, I want to sue you because this didn't go right and and you didn't meet this or whatever, then they can only attack your business finances, right? So you personally will be separate from the business. Now there's more we could say about that. So I'm going to send you to some resources. Y'all know I love SCORE. And I love the Small Business Development Center. So I want you to look those up in your area to get more detail on how to write the business plan and the differences in the types of business that you can form. So in your state, you have the Secretary of State. You're going to file with them, and you're going to either file for a LLC. And I also have a nonprofit, so I had to file for my nonprofit, which is usually a very low fee, and the LLC might be a little bit higher. Not might, is a little bit higher. Okay, so check into those to see what that is. And again, like I said, if you know you want to do a corporation, if you have big dreams, big goals, depending on what it is, now you can always switch those over later, right? Again, seek an attorney's advice first, but do your research. Like look to see who would be your competition and how are they formed, right? This is stuff Kaywanda's telling you 6 years later, okay? All right, so the next thing I want you to do is get in the mindset of building the right foundation. So like I said, your business plan is the roadmap, right, of where you're going. Where's the money coming from? Who's going to help me, right? How am I going to get this funded? What's the product going to be? How am I going to get the product out there? I mean, it's everything. And sometimes it's daunting. And I realized why I didn't do it in the beginning. Like, of course, I wrote things down and I had a guide and I always make notes. I'm a big journal girl. And so I had a vision for what I wanted to do. But I was, apprehensive about writing the actual business plan because I was like, oh, this is going to be like a 60-page document. But you know what? Had I done that, I would have saved myself some money. Let's be clear. Let me see. I hope y'all can see me over on Insta. My apologies. It seems a little dark compared to Facebook. All right, guys, so hopefully this is good to you. Hopefully this is making sense. Hopefully I'm helping to save you some like crazy being up late at night, right? Because you're able to say, okay, Wanda says I need to put this into place first, not just go all willy-nilly and start selling this and selling that and testing, okay? Which I do want you to do, but I want you to also have that legal foundation, that thing that has you set so that if something happens, you know where you stand. All right, so write the business plan, know your who, what, where, why, how it's going to happen, right? Then I want you to get legal, like we just talked about, deciding on how you're going to form your business, okay, because Uncle Sam would like to know. And then figuring out how you're going to, next thing is figuring out how you're going to fund the business. Now, I bootstrapped my business because I was like, within my salary that I received, this is how much I'm willing to put into my new business. Now, you got to pay for your website. You got to pay for your domain. You got to pay for if you're going to have email going out to people. So you got to have your CRM. You got to pay for how people are going to send you money. Is it PayPal? Is it Stripe? Is it Square? Is it, what are you using? Is it Moonclerk? What are you using? Lots of different things out there that you can use, right? Your payment gateways. And so all of these things can range from 10 to 15 bucks to $100 or more a month. And so I want you to do your research so that you can know what will it take to have my business online, offline, and what can I afford? If I can't afford to do all of that right now, how about I start saving up to start my business? Now I'm telling you this because I didn't do this in the beginning. I was just like, here you go, here you go, here you go. I need this. Oh, here you go, here you go. I need this. Oh, I need that. And then you reconcile and you're like, how much I spent, how much I earned. This is not adding up. And you're tired because you've been doing a lot of work. And so entrepreneurship is not easy, but it can be done. And for people saying you can start a business with no money, yeah, sure. You can start telling people what you offer. You can start offering that and you can get payment in if you're good and you can prove to people that you can actually deliver the product. But at some point, you're going to have to spend some money, right? At some point. But social media is free and there are a lot of people out here who aren't properly set up. And, hey, it'll happen when it happens. Uncle Sam will do what he needs to do. I don't want that to happen to you. So we're going to do things right from the beginning. Okay, so let me pause and see if there are any questions down there. Hey, boo, how you doing? I see you. I definitely want to do an LLC with a nonprofit component. Okay, so those will be different, right? Those will be different. So great, great, great. Oh, I'm so glad. China says this is so good. I hope so, because when you're talking to yourself and you can't see, it's just like, oh, I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at myself. All right, so I love that. Okay, so your LLC, right, is going to be different from your nonprofit. So you can have a nonprofit arm, most definitely. I totally get what you're saying. And then your LLC will be your for-profit business. Nonprofits make money too, but remember they have certain legal, let me see if I can say the right word, perks. I think that'll work for it, right? They have certain legal perks. So the thing is, people give you money, right, to help a cause. Like for me, I started the Do It Anyway Foundation because I spent a lot of money out of pocket because I want to help people. And I let, I'll discount this, and I'll give this away for that, and I'll try to donate here to try to assist moms, right? And so I don't give moms money. I provide resources, coaching, support, right? Information that helps them level up and do their lives, right? Better. And then I'm connecting with other nonprofits to be able to do that. And so that person may pay a small fee or they may pay no fee. And somebody else may say, hey, I'll give the money, I'll give a grant so that you can do this work. So people who work for nonprofits still get paid, right? But they're able to meet a need in the community. They're able to help folks. And we know there are different types. There are religious nonprofits, like the church is a nonprofit. And so they have some freedom when it comes to tax, right? So they typically aren't taxed, but there are some different types of nonprofits. So you got to really look into how you're forming it, which is why I love SCORE, SCORE.org. Look to see if they have a local chapter in your area. They work in conjunction with the Small Business Development Center, like association. I think they're like actually their nonprofit arm. And that's where you can get mentors who are in business to help you start your business, to help you lay the framework for your business rather, and kind of coach you along the way. And so just really invaluable. And I found out about this from a multi-millionaire who she went to these people when she was starting her business. So I love it, love it, love, love, love it. And I checked them out after I interviewed her. I definitely want to do an LLC with a nonprofit component. Okay, awesome, awesome. So hopefully I help you with that. All right, so next thing, let's see. So you got to figure out how you're going to fund your business. Like I was saying, I bootstrapped mine. And so that means I want to have a lean startup. That means I want to put in not all the money. I want to put in just what I need. I want to be lean about it. I don't want to have huge overhead. Like I don't have office space in some building for what? When I meet with my clients virtually, right? I host my events in person. I can also host events virtually, right? But I can do all my coaching. So that takes away me having to have an office space. Now, will I not ever have an office space? No, down the road, sure, I would like to have one, but right now it's not necessary, right? And so what I'm saying to you is think about what you need. If you want to have a bakery, check to see if you can start in your home, or if you need to rent space at a commercial kitchen. You know, look to see what's out there. Look to see what people are doing. Other ways to get funded. For-profits, there typically aren't grants, but there are a lot of pitch competitions that are happening. So when you get your legal structure, if you go and get legal, then you can start applying for things like that. So people who aren't legal can't participate in those competitions because people want to know what's your EIN, right? They want to know how your business is formed. They want to know that they're giving money to somebody who has a business plan and a framework and is trying to really be legit, right? Because they're giving that money that came from somewhere, obviously from their business that they worked hard to earn and did all these steps. So how are you going to get it funded? So if you're a nonprofit, yes, you can apply for grants. There's, lots and lots of grants out there. You got to learn how to do some grant writing or get yourself a grant writer. If you're in a for-profit, other ways you can fund it. I haven't done a crowd funding, but I am interested in doing one. And I won't say that I won't do one because I'm very interested in how people are getting other folks to help fund their business or fund their idea. Like say you have an invention that you've created that you know is going to be the bomb, right? And the world needs it. And you have a prototype. Well, you can tell people, hey, if you give me 25 bucks, if you give me 50, if you give me 100, if you put in 1,000, this is what you'll get. And so go out and look to see what kind of Kickstarters and crowdfunding campaigns are out there. So ways to bring money in, right? So that it's not all you footing the bill. Are you going to have a partner? Right? Are you going to ask friends and family? Do you have somebody who would say, hey, I want to be an initial investor and I'm going to give you this amount for this much equity? Start watching Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank, right? Because this is where you learn one day, how do you get somebody to invest in your business so that you have capital to do what needs to be done? Because when people say it does not take money to run a business, I'll understand because I'm paying stuff every month, right? Okay. So it takes money to run a business. All right, what other questions y'all got? That makes sense. I will check out SCORE. SCORE is awesome. Also, the Small Business Development Center. All right, so what's the next thing you got to do? All right, so if you haven't already, and like I said, these are kind of, intuitive. Hopefully you've already said, hey, this is the name I want, but you could possibly do all of your research with all these steps I've given you and then come up with your name and then do your legal formation. But hopefully you know what your name is. When you look at the Secretary of State for your state, you're going to have to do a name search. And the name that you came up with all on your own that you've never heard of before might actually already be taken. That happened to me. I was like, how is it possible? So we think that we're unique. We think that nobody else has ever had this idea. And sometimes they do. And so you want to go out there and double check it. Okay. As a little caveat, a little tip, once you go ahead and pick your name, I would say go ahead and start grabbing up your social media real estate. Because if you're wanting to do business online, you want to make sure that nobody else uses that name. Okay. All right. And then the next thing is do what we're talking about. Go ahead and get it registered. Go ahead and pay those coins. Go ahead and make sure you have the great legal formation. What you need? Huh? How much time? However long we go. What you need? No. Sorry, kid. My oldest is like, can I wash clothing? Nope, not while I'm doing this. Sorry, you got to wait because he looking like he going somewhere. Where you going? What did you wash? What kind of clothes? Shirts and shorts. I'll put them in the dryer when I'm done. It's fine. If it was underwear, it was just gonna have to wait. But if it's shirts and shorts, I can do that. All right, so back to this. Sorry, guys. Real life, mom life. Okay, we're just moving and shaking. All right, so you got to get the proper legal structure. Just leave, kid. It's okay. He's tippy-toeing, pointing, and all of this. Fine. You look nice. Be safe. Make good choices. Mom loves you. Bye-bye. Just want to embarrass him just a little bit. All right, so next thing is look and see if you need some kind of license. Like I said, if you're baking, some folks just out here cooking stuff and they don't have the products, what's in it properly labeled. Somebody could die because they got a peanut allergy. Look to see what kind of licenses you need. Look to see what kind of insurance you need. Lots of things involved in starting a business. Why am I saying this? Not to scare you, but to prepare you so you can do this well, right? All right, and we're almost done. Now, after you get everything going, of course, you're going to have the branding. What do you want it to look like? What do you want your logo to look like? Do not get all down the rabbit hole on this one, okay? Because we can spend so much time making it pretty and not have any sales. Your job, once you start this business, is to get your customers. Once you start this business, is to follow that plan, that roadmap that you built with your trusted advisors, business consultant, whoever it was. If it's just you and it's your blood, sweat, and tears, your goal is to actually make sales. It's to actually bring customers in and to keep doing it, right? And to keep doing it because that's the definition of a business, right? And so, we have lots of statistics out there. Black women, I think we're leading the pack on starting our own businesses, but we don't get the funding that everybody else gets, right? And we also don't have all the education that it takes to, and I'm not saying we're not educated, so let me fix that. We may not know exactly all of the things that it takes, and we may not have the people who are telling us what to do in order to make it profitable. So this is why I wanted to do this today. Now, this was a lot. I've been talking for about 40 minutes, so I'm gonna pause and see what kind of questions y'all have. So give me some hearts, throw me up a like or something. Let me know you're still there. But I wanted to come on and do this. It's so boring, really, right? When we talk about it, like, the behind the scenes sounds so boring, Kaywanda. But this is the stuff you do so that you can get to the good part, so that you can get to transforming lives, so that you can get to putting smiles on people's faces. This is the stuff that takes care of you if you set your proper foundation. If you don't set the proper foundation, then it's a headache, right? And I know because I've had the headache and I don't want you to have it. So think through these things. Let's recap them, right? While y'all putting up any questions you have. So get the proper mindset, right? Then figure out, is it going to be an LLC? Is it going to be a sole proprietorship, right? Are you going to do the side hustle thing where you're just like, let me just see if I can make this work. Let me do some websites. Let me make some cupcakes. Let me wash some cars. Let me, get some cash. Let me do a part-time job so that I can have what it takes to start the business, right? How are you going to do it, right? Build the right foundation. We talked about the importance of having a business plan. That's your roadmap. That's the thing that tells you when you're frustrated, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing here. Oh, I did my market analysis, so I knew this was coming. I knew this person was my competitor. I knew da-da-da-da-da, right? These are things we can't overlook, even though we feel like overlooking them, right? I get it. I get it. I get it. Been there, right? So that it's not overwhelming and overpowering, this is why you want somebody to go alongside you with it. This is why you want to take it step by step and not rush. Okay. This is why you want to breathe and you want to say, okay, I know I want to do this. I know this idea is going to change my family's path forever, right? Don't get scared. Just get prepared. That's all I'm saying today, right? Business 101. All right. So businesses are in business to make money. You want to come up with a money-making idea. Yes, passion is amazing. Purpose is amazing, right? And I hate those people who are like, well, I'm just doing what the Lord told me. I'm just doing what the Lord told me to do. And I don't care if I never make 1 red cent. Well, they usually have a whole husband and a whole 6-figure job. So those people, I just want to go, hush. And trust me, I am number one, the person who, if God says go, I'm going. When he has said do, I have done. And I'm going to always be that person to do it. But I am telling you that the definition of a business is you offer a good or service and you receive compensation for that in the form of coins. It is good, it is honorable, it is right. The Proverbs 31 woman, honey, was outside working. She had her own business and she was receiving coins, and the Bible says she brought honor to her family. And so it is good to do it. And I just want you to do it well, and I just want you to do it right. So I hope this has helped y'all today. What's up, family? So I see y'all over here. Hey, boo. All right, so you said, how did you start getting in front of single moms? What was your journey getting your first clients? I feel like this is my roadblock thus far. So the thing is, I was already on social media. And so I was a big Twitter fan, and I was always I'm this person who I'm always dropping a word. I'm just, full of joy and excitement and always wanting to empower people. And even if life is crappy, because most of the time it is. And a lot of times I was posting things where something was happening in my life, but I was putting that encouragement out there. And so I was already doing that a lot. I've literally slowed down so much that I don't tweet or post as much as I used to, but I used to be lighting it up. Like, it's some books out there on affirmations. If somebody would want to just download that for me so we can go and put it in the book. Listen, I was constantly encouraging. And so that part wasn't hard. So there's a lot of people who like that. And I was like, cool. I'm glad this is speaking to you. It's just on my heart to say and share. But I will tell you that in 2014, I felt the urge to start writing the book. In 2013, I started blogging. So that was my journey. Because like I said, everybody was coming out of the woodwork just asking me. My married friends were like, oh my God, like, they're calling me for advice. I'm like, I'm not married. You're married, but they know I'm objective and I'm always thinking, the better. And I'm not like taking sides, And so the problem solving, folks always wanted that. And I was like, okay, so obviously what I think is simple and what I think comes easy to me, people need it. Okay, so that's the thing. A lot of times we'll discount our giftings that God has given us, that insight and that intuitiveness and that ability to take something difficult and chop it down and make it simple and practical. And let me stop using simple, make it practical. And we think, oh, well, this is just normal. And no, that's a gift. And so I started realizing I had something to say and that people wanted to hear that. So I started blogging, and then I started, just feeling impressed to like I was saying, hey, it's time to put this in the book. And I was really nervous because I was like, how much do I say about, how I became a single mom? How much do I say about that part of my life? How much do I say? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be authentic because somebody out there is going through this same thing. And I'm going to share some of the ugly stuff, right? And but I'm going to try to do it in a way that doesn't offend my boys. It doesn't offend their dad. Doesn't bring him into the picture at all. So I don't have to deal with him. But it's still truthful. It's still my part of the story. And then use it to help somebody else and not be something that's like a tell-all, messy, hot mess. That's not what I wanted. I wanted something that if you read it, you felt like, she gets me, and I can make it through this, and this is how. So then I had to figure out, okay, how do you write a book, right? How do you format it? How do you edit it? How do you self-publish? Because I researched a lot of months, and it took me a year and a half to really get serious and finish the book, because I was doing so much research, and I was, thinking, oh, well, it's not going to be a New York Times bestseller, so then why do it? It's not going to be on the Wall Street Journal, then why do it? It's not, it's craziness. And then I had this boyfriend at the time. I'm going all around the world to tell you this point. I had this boyfriend at the time who was getting on my nerves. Like, he would not let me write. And I was like, all I want to do this weekend is write. We've gone on 3 or 4 dates. I hung out with you all week. This is my writing day. Leave me alone. And of course, he would call and tempt me with free dinners, and, and I ain't got to pay for nothing. I'll just be like, oh, that's my Achilles heel, because I hate to pay for dinner, right? So I was like, hold up, this is a distraction. This is a distraction, and it's impeding purpose. And there's somebody that needs this. And I started feeling so impressed upon it. I wrote that book in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Every day I went to Starbucks and I made myself a writing goal. I said, I'm not going to leave until I have 3,000 words written. And somebody would say, 3,000 words a day, how do you do that? Well, remember, I'm an educator and I have a master's in Spanish literature. I wrote a 33-page paper in Spanish. So if I can't do nothing, I can write. You understand? And so what people don't understand is it's all of our past experiences, all of our skills, all of our jobs, anything we've had that makes us. And those things are what make me be able to do what I do, right? And so I'm sharing this with you so you can start thinking, what's my skill set? What are the jobs I've had that are going to lead me to be able to do this business that I want to build well? I have a friend who's an artist. I didn't know she was an artist. I just thought she had a great eye for talent. This heifer was a freaking artist, okay? And she happens to have a wedding coordinator business, does really well, doing very well. And she says, you know what, I want to add an extra arm, right? I want to bring in something that doesn't just have me with one-off clients, right? Unless they need an anniversary or they do a renewal, I never see my customers again. And she created this side business that is so beautiful. Oh my God, like she makes teas for the brides and for the bridesmaids. And it's just like whatever you want for your wedding party, like you get it from her. So you book your wedding with her, and then you can also get all your favors and everything you need. And I'm just like, how do you do this? Well, she's a freaking artist. So her mind's eye, she can see how to make stuff pretty. That may be you, right? It may be you. Okay, so I went all around the world, and now how did I get my first client? So I simply share with the world my message, period. And I'm trying to think all the way back, because I'm like, ooh, who was my first client? I think my first client that wasn't a family member was this guy who his daughter was a single mom. And she also lived in Texas at the time. I live in Texas. And we were kind of close together. We never met, right? But he just loved my positive message. I reminded him of his daughter, and he would tell his daughter about me. And so he was the first person who supported me in my t-shirt brand. And then, of course, I had family and friends who did, and then other people after that. And so what I did was I simply showed up. I took some not so great pictures, but hey, I took them. And at the time, I used what I had. And I made sure I had a payment link, and I used something called Sales, S-E-L-Z, for my store. I have lots of other ones, but I use Sales. Sales is easy to use. It's very intuitive. S-E-L-Z, and then they have different price plans. Okay, so you start out with what you need based on where you are, and then you can level it up and add more things. And so I really like them. I actually need to get y'all an affiliate link for Sales because they're really good, and I like them. I've had them for years. And so a link to my Sales store, and he went on right up in there. He purchased it, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. We in business. And then I got everything together, shipped it out, let him know, bam, and he knows his order's on the way. So it's so many pieces that you have to really just make the plan. When you make the plan, you don't get overwhelmed, okay? And so one thing I want to say about that is your family, more than likely, will not be your customer forever. Some people will come through and they'll say, hey, I want to support you. Some people might give you a little love offering. Some people might never support you, and it might make you mad. So I'm telling you now, your family is not your customer. Your customer is your customer, and it's your job to figure out who that is, right? Okay. Don't get scared, get prepared. Yes, girl, you over here writing amazingness. I love it. Okay, so I'm losing my my voice. Let me see if there are any more questions. Hey, 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 hey. All right, so I hope that blessed y'all. I was recapping and I got a little stuck up in there. But make sure you know how you're going to fund the business. Don't go spending all the coins because we have all been there. Okay, we know what it's like to need. Okay, at some point, somebody on here knows what it's like to have a need, whatever that need is. And so we got to make sure that our families are secured, that our rent is paid, stuff is taken care of. Something that is supposed to be a business or a side hustle should add to you and not break you. But it can easily break you if you do not prepare for how much do I have in the budget to expend toward this. I have this friend. I'm in this group on our social media on Facebook called Traffic Sales and Profit. It's so good. It's run by Lamar Tyler and his wife, and it's for Black entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs of color, right? And it's there because obviously there's a lot of support for people who are non-folks of color, and it seems like sometimes there's certain things set up, right, for those people to win. And I'm not picking, and I hope I can say that better, but in a little bit, but y'all know what I'm saying. Sometimes we just don't have conferences that talk to us about the challenges that we have, right? And how do we build those networks and support groups? And so, did I say it better? I think I did. And so we love y'all, non-people of color, but just understand we sometimes have issues, right, getting the same treatment. And so he does a conference. In fact, it's going to be next weekend. He's having something called TSP Live in Atlanta. When you go on Facebook the next time, get into that group, Traffic Sales and Profit. It's amazing. It teaches you how to get more traffic, how to make more sales, and how to profit, right? So it's a really good one. Why was I bringing him up? I digress quickly. Why was I bringing up Lamar? Somebody tell me. And of course, there's a phone call trying to come in. Let me put it on Do Not Disturb. All right. So I was bringing up Lamar because it's important to get with people who are doing what you are doing. It's important to be in groups where you can learn from folks, right, who are already doing what you want to do. You may not have even started yet, but you can start seeing, okay, this is a tip and that's a tip. And folks are so giving and so loving and so supportive in that group. So that really changed my life. I met him about 4 years ago. And I think he started the group a little bit after that, after we all met. And it's just been amazing. This event is fabulous. And it's so good to see people that look like you who are doing the doggone thing. And like I said, everybody helps everybody. Okay, so that's a really good one to get into. All right, so you said, I feel like this is my roadblock. What was your journey getting to your first client? So getting to your first client is going to be easy, right? I'm not going to say easy, but that's just, you only need one. You only need one. The next challenge is, how do I get to 3, 4, and 100, right? And so that leads us to messaging, right? And I'll have to come back and talk about that because we already have been on about an hour. Yeah, and y'all know I got voiceless over here. So I hope this has blessed you. I really try to do these like 30 minutes or less, but this was that stuff nobody hardly wants to talk about because it's business. But business is good, and this is how the world works. And when you learn how to get into that world and stop saying it's boring and not interesting and legal documents and formation and this or that, and realize that this is the thing that could take you to your next level. This is the thing that can help you have that dream house. This is the thing that can help you have that dream car. This is the thing that can help you fund your kids' education, fund those family vacations. But it's also going to take some work. So do the work on the front end. Know that it's going to take work in the middle, right? And on the back end. It's work. But if it's good work and something that you want to do, then is it really work? Is it really work? Like when I do this, even though I need some more water, I love it, right? So I know that I'm in my zone of genius, talking to people, helping women, helping my Spanish clients, right? Those things make me happy because I can see the change. When I'm talking to a mom, when I'm coaching a woman about dating, when I'm helping somebody with a business question and helping them, get structured, that stuff brings me joy because those are my areas, right? So sit down and think about, I want to start a business. What is it in? Okay, remember what I said earlier, businesses have to make money, right? You're exchanging your time, talent, resources, information, right? You deserve to get paid. What is it? What is it that the business is going to be about? So like with my friend who came up with two things that connect and relate, that are in the same wheelhouse, right? But that meet a need. What can you create that meets a need? Look to see what's out there, do your research, and get after it. Oh, and the last step that I put on here after you've laid that foundation with your business 101 tips today is you just got to work your butt off. Work your butt off to get sales. That's my last note. Work your butt off to get sales. Work your butt off. And we don't mean like wear yourself out. We don't mean like team no sleep. And I used to post about the hustle and the grind and all that too. And I would keep the late hours, and I still do. When it's the summer, I got more time, so I can burn the midnight oil. Okay, and sometimes when it's necessary, I'll burn it when it's not the summer. But we also have to try to make sure we're staying in tune with ourselves, taking care of ourselves, getting our rest, doing what needs to be done, right? And delegating. All right. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to go cook dinner. But China, thank you for being on. Hey, y'all got more stuff over here. Let's see. I'm so glad. Hey, Wanda in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You're in the process of starting your own business. I love it. What is the name of the seminar you spoke of? Oh, takes a sip. So the seminar I spoke of, that's amazing. It's called Traffic, Sales, and Profit with Lamar Tyler and Ronnie Tyler. They are the founders of blackandmarriedwithkids.com. I've had an opportunity to write for them as well, and it was awesome and amazing, really good people. And Lamar is a genius. And so he does coaching. He has a mastermind group. And that conference is happening in Atlanta next week. I think it's already sold out. What's crazy about that conference, and I was supposed to go to it this year, but I had a speaking engagement. What's crazy about that conference is once you go and you meet all these amazing people, you know you're going to come back again. And they always release the tickets to the people who attended, and then they release it to the public. So you got to be watching so that they don't sell all out. But definitely check. I mean, try to get into the group Traffic, Sales, and Profit. Right? I'm not the only one with all the information. So we definitely need to be seeking, searching, looking, listening, and do your research. Do your research. Do your research. Do your research, right? You do your research, you'll set yourself up for success. All right, I got to go cook some dinner, Traffic, Sales, and Profit. So remember, I'm Kaywanda Lamb, the winning single mom. It is my honor to work with moms who want to earn more money, manage motherhood, and win at life. I help you in the areas of love, parenting, and money. So check me out over at kaywandalamb.com. And I'll talk to y'all next week. I'm going on vacay after our next mom chat. And so I might be whiplashed, jet lagged, jet lagged for the following Sunday. But let me see. So next Sunday we'll be on. I'm going to ask you guys to tell me at the end what are some topics you want to hear about. I felt like marketing was a big question today, like marketing to your first customer. So maybe we'll talk about marketing next time. So I really try to give you tips, but the proof is in the details, right? What do they say? The devil's in the details. So you've got to build that plan out. Right? You don't just take the little bit I gave you today and go. You got to build that plan out, build that plan. Okay. And then it'll work for you. All right. So I will see you guys. You're so welcome. I will see you guys next Sunday, same time. Remember to reply below with what you want to learn about next, what you want to talk about next, and hop over to kaywandalamb.com if you haven't already gotten on my email list, because I'll be opening my academy this summer. All about helping you start your own business, obviously. And my podcast is getting ready to launch in a week, whoop, 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 called The Winning Single Mom. So I'll be posting on Facebook and Instagram. You guys will see that, and hopefully you'll take a listen, because I've interviewed 50 experts who are absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for y'all to hear those stories and get some more tips on how to get further faster in your business or side hustle. God bless you. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for tuning into Mom Chat. Bye, y'all. All right, now that was our people over on Instagram. Saying bye to them. Facebook, y'all are awesome. I appreciate y'all every Sunday for tuning in. And I'm so glad to help. I know it is not easy, and I want you to be successful. And that is why I'm sharing something that other folks would be mad about me sharing, which is don't go spending all your money on a wing and a prayer. Set that foundation, do the research, use your coins wisely, budget for this thing, and you won't be mad because you know what's coming. You know what you're expecting. You know where you're putting things, right? And so I didn't do that. I spent a whole bunch of money that I really need to get back. That I really need to get back. But you know what? I learned the lessons and now I can share them with you. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.